everybody, welcome to Polymer Clay TV. I'm Elisa, and today we're going to play around with some different things to make a little wall plaque. And this is just one of these poster board things. They're kind of hard so that it's, you can then frame them, which is really nice. And I've got, of course, my normal tools: blade, poker, sculpting tool, squeegee, and in this case I'm using white paint. I've already gone ahead, and also actually I'm using the Primo in Wisteria and the Peacock Blue, which I just love. So those are the clays I used here. And so what I did was I started out by silk screening a boatload of things. Actually, to be honest, I think it was 3 silk screens. These are the ones I used. First of all, I started with by making one of these hearts, and this is the word, hearts. And I then cut it with an X-Acto knife all the way around, so to cut it out. But you can obviously cut it any way you like. I did this, which is a long bracelet silk screen called Happiness, and I did that one. And I did all of these obviously with the white paint, so that they would go together nicely. Although the colors go together nicely anyways, I didn't want it to be so contrasting that, I just wanted it to blend nicely. So these are a couple of other ones we have, but I use this one here, which is the paisley, which is right here, and then this one here. And then there's actually 2 more designs on there that I didn't use, so there's 4 designs. So really lots of ideas, or lots of options. This one here has this bracelet one on there, this one, and this one. So this, and this is on this one. And this one, I did a few different ones. This is actually these 3 designs, but I didn't have it wide enough to do all of those designs, so I just did whatever would fit on there. So that's what I have. And really, it's all about just piecing things together in whatever way looks good to you. And then just cutting it and then baking it, and then once you have it baked, you can glue it on and make a permanent bond between the canvas and the clay. I like to use either weld bond glue or Sobo glue. I have the Sobo right here. This is what Sobo looks like. Weld bond is really good, and there are other ones on the market, but those are the 2 that I like to use. So let's get started here with one in the middle. And so I like the way this looks. Actually, what I want to do is I really don't want to overlap anything. I want them just to butt up against each other. So, because I don't want it to be bulky, I want them all to be the same height. So you just really have to trim it to whatever size you're using on your board. And these boards come in all kinds of sizes. And this is a really good project to use up your scraps. I originally was going to do that, but then I had used my scraps for something else, a different project. So I'm just making sure that my end is really neat and straight before I place it on here. And like sometimes I'll do a silk screen and some part of it might not look so right. And don't feel like you have to scrap the whole thing, because like on this end, I messed it up, so I just made sure to pull it over so that I cut it off and it's not there anymore. And this here, silk screened, a little too much paint in this area, so that's going to get covered by the heart. So, you can lay out your design with your scraps. If there's a piece you don't like, you can cut it off, whatever you want to do. It's entirely up to you. So I've already cut these pieces to save time, to like place in here. And you can just kind of go around it and see what you like. There we go. I think I like that right there. So let's put that there. Again, just kind of slicing it even with the edge of the board. And afterwards, don't worry to get it too perfect like this, because you can come back and just clean it up. Right now, you're just kind of getting it in place to see if you like the layout and the look of it. Let's see what we'll do here. Let's add this guy. And as you see, I'm just kind of butting it right up. I might give it one little roll over with my rod, but for the most part, I want it in place before. And now see this side here, got a little messed up, so I'm just going to pull it over a little. And that way I can cut it up and, you know, still use it and get rid of the part that didn't silk screen as perfectly as I wanted it to. And you just keep going until you get the design you like. Let's see. Let's add a little more purple in here. And, you know, you can go either horizontal or vertical, whichever way you want as well. You know, that's totally up to you. There's so many options. That's the point. I really like that there's so many options with this. Because you know, I'm an experimenter and I like to try new things. And so that's what I'm always doing. And so let me just see. I'm working on this deli paper, which makes it real easy to, you know, put things aside so they don't stick. Let me cut off the edge on this one to make it just right. And I think I'm gonna try to use this whole piece here. So let me just cut. I'm just cutting it off so that it's nice and straight on all edges. I'm not too worried about this one because I know I'm not going to need it that far across, so I'm going to not worry about that for now. All right, so let's go back to the board and place this one. And that one basically goes all the way to the end, but I think I want this design going this way. And you get really like a beautiful tapestry look, and that's what I love about this. You know, these silk screens basically are already ready for you to make something fabulous. You know, you don't have to do a lot of work, you know, and you don't have to be afraid of silk screening. It's actually one of the easiest techniques there is. It really, truly is. And people are afraid of it. And really, if you mess it up, oh well. Oh well, it's a piece of clay, and you ball it up and you try something else. Don't be afraid. Like right now, I just cut it off. But you know what? I'm going to just stretch it. I didn't cut it long enough. So, hey, just stretch it, you know? You have to, that's one of the things about polymer clay. You will make mistakes, but you can do things to kind of make them not be mistakes, you know, so that they look good no matter what. And that's what I love about it. It's very forgiving. Polymer clay is definitely forgiving. You know, you can stretch it and move it and, you know, piece it wherever you like. And, you know, I may add a border on here. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to add a border, but right now I just want to kind of just feel it out and make sure it all fits nicely. You know, you can use your fingers to do that for now, but I do want to add I do want to roll over it. I think I'm going to go this one here. Actually, yeah, do that there. As you can see, I mean, it doesn't take very long to do once you do all your silk screen. Now, let me say this: you could also totally rubber stamp. It doesn't have to be a silk screen. I'm just showing you with the silk screen because I really like these silk screens and I really like that Indian tapestry look you get from using them. So that's why I chose to use these. But you know, you can certainly use anything you want, do anything you have around the house, whatever it may be. And just play around with it till you get the look you want. And like I said, it doesn't take a lot of time. There's nothing hard or complicated about this project, but it really does look fabulous. Already, I'm just loving it. And so one last piece should fill her in. And so and save all these pieces, because the thing is, now I've got a bunch of little pieces that I can then make a mosaic onto something else and piece them together. So you could just bake the little pieces on their own and use the mosaic as a mosaic, and, you know, by piecing them together. That look is a really cool look as well. So I'm not going to cut there's a little extra on this edge. I'm not going to cut it because right now, I'm now going to use my acrylic rod. Ah! Well, I was going to use my acrylic rod and do that. I don't think I'm going to do that. Sorry, guys. I don't think I'll use that acrylic rod because it's really warm and obviously wants to stick. So let's do it by hand. You put all this back. See, even someone that's been working with the clay for all these years still has problems. So if you're a beginner and you're thinking, oh boy, well, you know what? Everybody goes through it. It's not you alone. So maybe we ought to just kind of go a little bit like this on the seam and use our fingers for the most part right now. It's really warm here. I'm in northern Florida, and we're having a really warm day. Oh, this guy is kind of overcrossed here. Let me pull that apart. And so the clay is really sticky. And right now I don't have any water to use as a release agent, because if I put water on my rod, it wouldn't stick as much. And like I said, though, I don't have it. Okay, so we're done there for now. I'm not worried about it. It's all nice anyways. Now's the time you want to trim your edges. And I just run my blade over like so and trim my edges. And, you know, you can decide how far you want it to go, if you want it to bend over the edge, you know. I like it about this way because now, if it's all butted up on the edge, I can then put it into a frame super easy and, you know, it'll fit nicely. And the edges here, just make sure I get a good cut there. So you might have to, you know, go side to side until you get a nice good cut. And then the last one here is the side that had a little extra hanging over. Again, just going to run my blade across and cut off the extra. And you see I'm holding it down so it doesn't pop off when I'm doing this. So you want to, you know, hold that so it stays on the board and stays the right shape you want it. And really, that's all there is to the back of this. And so let's go ahead. It doesn't look like it cut it so good on this side. Let me just finish this up here. Ay, 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 ay. There we go. Cut this one last edge. Well, you get the gist. It doesn't have to be perfect, but for me anyways, at this moment. Anyways, so that's when now I want to come back with my heart that I've created. And once again, I told you I silk screened it, and then I used my blade and a X-Acto knife to shape it into the shape I wanted. And so at this point, I want to lay it on top of my piece. And let's see. You can decide where you want it. I'm going to turn it towards me for a second so I can get it in the right spot so it's not crooked. Okay, so then you want to make sure when you put it on, though, that there aren't any air pockets between the back and the front. And at this point, now you can bake it at the temperature recommended on the package of the clay brand you're using. And this is Primo that I've used. So I'll bake it for about 25 minutes. Because these are very thin pieces. I went probably the third thickest setting on my pasta machine for these. But obviously, you can do any thickness you want, whatever appeals to you. This was what I thought, because I didn't want it to be too heavy either. And, you know, I knew I was using one full layer and then I was going to put something on top. So I didn't want it to be super thick. So that's why I personally went thin. But, you know, you can change this up any way you want. You can add to it. You know, if you wanted to add a little more color down here, you could plop something in like that. You know, maybe go like in other directions. You know, the sky is the limit, like I always say. You know, just have fun with it. It really is an easy project, yet looks like you spent zillions of hours on it too. So have fun, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I'd love to see the things that you guys make. And you can share them with us at polymerclaytribe.com. That's our Facebook group. It's free to join. And we've got around 12,000, 13,000 members that really are active and sharing their work. And we have challenges and prizes and all kinds of goody things over there. So you definitely want to check that out. And our big announcement is that if you come back Sunday, Polymer Clay Adventure 2018 is launching, which means you can then get your ticket for it. And if you join in the first 3 days after launch, you will be entered to win one of our 100 goodie bags that we give away every year. And there's a golden ticket inside of one of them worth over $200. So you could be that lucky winner. It was so fun. You know, everybody had so much fun with that last year, so we decided to do it again. So come Sunday, not today. Don't go to polymerclayadventure.com today, but on Sunday, go to polymerclayadventure.com and you'll be able to join the event then, because right now the 2017 event's on the site, but you want the 2018 event. Although, you know, if you haven't joined 2017, you're running out of time, because those at the end of the year will no longer be available. So check out those classes too, because if you want them, now's the time, because a lot of teachers don't ever sell them again, and we retire the whole event at the end of the year. So you can't buy it after the end of the year. So that's the story on that. You can find all the silk screens in our shop at createalong.com, and have fun creating and come show us your work. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.